Good morning, everybody. Welcome to yoga today. So we're going to focus on prenatal. So obviously you can do this through any trimester after pregnancy, and just obviously being mindful of your body and how you're feeling throughout the trimesters. I will give as many options as I can. So just making sure that you have some blankets, some pillows. If you don't have any bolsters, just using any household props that you might like to use for blocks. So just you can use these throughout the practice at any time you need them. So to begin with, we're going to come into Sukhanasana. So we're going to just take the feet, cross them over, creating space for the belly. Again, obviously if this is uncomfortable for you, you could take your legs out wide. You might like to place a blanket or grabbing a cushion, sliding it underneath your sit bones just to help elevate, and just sit out as in a nice comfortable position for yourself. So for me, I'm obviously going to come into Sukhanasana, so our cross-legged, and we're going to come into some breathing exercise. So we're going to come into Samavriti. So we did this last week, and it's just equal parts of breathing. So we're going to just breathe in for 3 and then exhale for 3. And it's really important that you don't hold your breath. So just continue to keep breathing in and out. And you might notice that my timing might be a bit quicker than yours, but you can do this in your own timing as well. So you don't have to go to the same pace as me. So just to begin, taking your hands out by your knees, getting yourself nice and comfortable, making any movements that you need. And we're going to start by taking a deep breath in through the nose and then back out through the nose. So breathing in for 3, 2, 1, exhale 3, 2, 1. Breathing in 3, 2, 1, exhale 3, 2, 1. Continue to breathe for 5 more rounds. Breathe in 3, 2, 1, exhale 3, 2, 1. Inhale 3, 2, 1, exhale 3, 2, 1. And once you've done your 5 rounds, come back to your normal pace of breathing. I'm just taking a moment here. If you need any more blankets or cushions, placing them underneath your sit bones. We're going to come to our side bends. So we're going to take the left hand down by the side and inhale, take the right arm up and over. Now with your eyes, you can look down to your bottom hand or up to the top hand. You might even like to walk that hand out a little bit further, feeling a nice stretch to the side of your body. And just really feeling yourself opening up. So here, if you're crowded over, you want to take that arm over the ear and then come over. So opening up through the chest, through the shoulders. Staying here for 5 rounds of breath. So taking a deep breath in and exhale out. Making sure that we lift out of that bottom shoulder, so we don't want to dump. And I'll lift up nice and tall. And then coming up once you've done the 5 rounds, and we switch sides, so coming over to the left side or the right side. 5 rounds of breath, your own timing. Breathing in and out through the nose. Making sure that both of your sit bones are firmly plunged onto the floor. Coming back up. And then placing your hands onto your knees. Now we're going to do some body circles. So you're going to take your body forward and around, and then cave in and then rock around. So creating mobility through your body. Remember, making any adjustments with your legs. And if this doesn't feel comfortable for you, you can stop at any time. And then we're going to reverse the opposite way, so taking the body forward, take it all the way back. Making sure that you're continually breathing. And coming back to the center and making some movements from side to side. Then we're going to come into our cat-cows. Now you can do this on all fours, or you might even like to do it sitting upright. So I've just turned side on. So you might like to dome in for your cat, and then out for your cow. Looking up, chest is lifted. So doming in and out. So continuing with that one, sitting. Now, if you're experiencing any knee problems or anything like that, you might like to fold your blanket. So mine's already folded. And you're going to place that under your knees. And same thing, if your wrists sore, you might like to put another blanket out in front of you, or just fold the blanket once and then lay it out so there's extra cushioning for you. So for this one, taking your hands out, placing them under your shoulders, but if that doesn't feel comfortable, you might like to take them wider than the mat. Making sure that your knees are in line with your hips and your legs are comfortable. Now this is also another place where sometimes you might not be able to take your feet down to the floor, so you could also have another blanket out there as well, or you might just like to have them tucked. So getting comfortable, lifting out of the body, engaging your belly. We're going to drop the belly down and then lift the eyes and chest up, and then we dome through the belly, rounding through the shoulders, then come back into cow and into cat. So we inhale to lift, and then exhale, rounding through the body. And doing this 5 times. So 5 of each. You should have 4 more sets to go. In your own time and with your breath. If your feet are down, pushing the fronts of the feet into the floor. Lifting out of those shoulders. And if you're sitting, doing the same thing with your breath. Hands are rested onto your knees. And then just doing one more. Breathing in and out. Coming back to a tabletop position. You're going to tuck your toes and then gently start to walk your hands back towards your legs. And we're just going to rest our glutes onto the tops of our heels. And we're getting a nice stretch through our feet. So just relaxing your hands, placing them wherever they feel comfortable. You might like to have them by your sides, just allowing them to hang freely. Taking a nice, long, deep breath in through the nose and then exhale it out. You might like to come back to your Samavriti breathing, your equal parts breath. So breathing in for 3 and then exhaling for 3. Now if at any time this feels uncomfortable, just untucking the toes and resting down to your heels. Continue to breathe 5 rounds. Breathing in for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Breathing in for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. 3 more rounds by yourself. And slowly lifting up onto your knees, untuck the toes. And then we're going to come onto the blankets. So I'm going to fold mine out. Now we're going to come into gate pose. So we're already up on our knees. So what we want to do is we want to extend our right leg out first to the side. So we're taking it out as wide as we can, finding that stability. So obviously we want the hips to be in line with the knees. So just having a little look down, just checking the alignment. Turning your right foot parallel to the front of the room. Then we're going to place the left hand down on the thigh or the hip and lift the left arm up and over towards the ear. And if you like, taking it over the side of the body. So again, you can place your hand down, just never on the joints. So you're working it to here or down by the leg or the calf muscle and taking it over. And again, same thing, taking your eyes look down or past your elbow. And we're just holding here for 5 breaths. Breathing in and out. 4 more. And once you've done your 5th, slowly lift yourselves up. Take one hand down, bring the knee in, gently lift back up. Take your hands down again. If you like, extend that leg out, get that stability in place, using your hands or blocks nearby you to help you up. So it's all about safe practice. So taking your hand wherever it feels comfortable, inhale the right arm up, and then go in and finding a nice side stretch. And just remembering that anytime you need to drink water or go to the toilet or eat food, do so, press pause, and then come back. 5 rounds of breath. And slowly lift up. Taking the hands down. Bring your knees in. Now, getting up any way you feel comfortable. So for me, I just went on my knees, had my feet tucked, and we're going to slowly start to roll up. And I'm going to come away from the wall. So you're just going to gently start to roll it through the spine. Your head should be the last thing to come up. So definitely taking your time with this. Don't rush. Kids, you might lose oxygen to the head and you might pass out. You don't want that. So taking your time, nice and slow. Now I'm going to move my blanket. So we want to be able to not wobble. So we're going to come into our warrior 2 pose. So if you're experiencing any pain throughout your lower back or through your pelvis, it's ideal for you to bring your feet in closer, and it may not look like my warrior 2 or someone else's warrior 2, but it's just to bring it in to make you feel a little bit more comfortable for you and support you through your pregnancy. So warrior 2, to begin with, we're going to start off by taking the legs out nice and wide. Now your left foot is pointed towards the left side, right foot is parallel to the front of the room. And then we take the arms out long. Now, obviously, again, if you're experiencing problem, bringing your feet in under and a slight bend of the knee. And this will feel a lot more comfortable for you. Again, you can always try to take it out a little bit wider, but do recommend that you keep your feet in closer together. So taking the arms out, holding nice and long, and then taking your eyes to look over your left hand or your middle finger, finding your drishti point. And we're going to hold here, taking 5 deep breaths in, breathing in and out through the nose. Two more rounds. And then we come up by straightening the leg. And then we're going to reach the ribs over as far as you can take them. Take one hand down to your leg, or as far it might be resting up on your thigh, on your calf, and the right arm up to the ceiling. Now, if you have any blocks, you can take them by your side. So taking your time obviously to get there, just placing your palm of your hand on top of the block and extending the arm up. And it's okay to have a slight bend in the knee, whatever feels comfortable for you. Now again, if you're twisted, you want to try to open up, creating that space for you to grow, lifting out of the body so we're not just stacking all the weight into the arm. We want to lift out of the shoulders, pushing the palm out from the block, lifting up nice and tall. You might like to do some little arm circles and circle the arm around. Maybe doing one more, so 3 in total. And then taking the arm back up. And then bend the knee, take your time, standing back up. We're going to go into the other side. So we're going to find our warrior 2 first. So your right foot is facing towards the right side, left foot parallel towards the camera, towards me. Then we're going to reach the ribs over, take the arms out, and then place them down. Oh, actually coming back into warrior 2. So for warrior 2, bending the knee, right foot out to the right side, left foot parallel to the front, extending the arms long, shoulder height. Taking your eyes, look over your middle finger. Staying here for 5 rounds of breath. And then extending and straightening that leg. Bringing your block to wherever you are, if you haven't already done so. And reach the ribs over. Move the block where you need it. Take that left arm up. Open the belly, open the chest. Remember not to dampen the shoulders, but extending up, lifting all the way through the fingertips. Opening the belly. Remember your hand can be rested onto your legs as well if that feels comfortable. Or your hand might even be on the floor. And slowly release, bending the knees, coming back to the front. And then coming up to standing. And we're going to find our goddess pose. So for this one, same thing if you're still experiencing problems. Feet are close together, so we're in a little bit of it will look a little bit different. So full goddess pose, taking the knees out wide, arms out. Now we're going to work on our pelvic floor. So as we engage to lift up, as we're breathing, we want to feel that pull of lifting up, and as we exhale, we're softening those muscles as we come down. So this will really help throughout birthing and just creating those muscles and making them a lot more stronger throughout your pregnancy. So to start off, bending the knees and just remembering that when you're doing pelvic floor exercises, to not just do it on the inhales and exhales, so changing it up. So you might lift up and that's through an exhale, not through an inhale. So just practicing your pelvic floors on daily practices. You might be sitting down or in bed, and it's just really nice to feel those contractions working, and just obviously not doing it with your exhales and inhales, just alternating the breaths. So inhale to lift, exhale to drop. Then you might be taking another deep breath in, and then you exhale to engage, and then inhale to release. Hopefully I got that right. So sinking down. Now we're going to you can take the hands by your thighs or to your waist, or you might like to have your hands up to the ceiling or just out to the side. And what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in and engage and lift up through the pelvic floor, feeling the strength in your legs, and as you exhale, slowly releasing those muscles. Breathing in and out. Inhale, engaging those pelvic floors, so lifting up, and then exhale to release. Doing this 5 more times, breathing in and out. You might even like to have a little hold up at the top, and then exhale and hold. Breathing in. And then once you've done your 5, taking your hands by your sides, lifting up. We're going to come into our wide-legged forward fold. So you're going to turn your feet parallel to the front. Now, if you have blocks or bolsters or pillows, you might like to place that out in front of you. And what we're going to do, taking the feet obviously wider than your hips, or under, bring them in closer. We're just going to take the hands to the waist, and we're going to slowly start to tip forward. Now, if it's not there, bring your hands straight down to the bolster or the pillow, pressing the palms down. We're just going to hold here. So you might even like to walk through your knees, just bending them. Holding them. Or you might like to just keep your hips up and the crown of your head towards the front. Oh, that gave me a bit of a fright. Holding there. And you might like to take one hand to the center and then open the left arm up towards the ceiling. And then placing that hand down, changing sides, creating stability through the body, but using any props that we need and creating strength through ourselves. And just empowering ourselves throughout the pregnancy. Taking your hands down. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn the heels in and heel toe them in slightly. And then we're going to drop the bottom down to the floor and come into Malasana. Now, if you have a bolster, you might like to step in front of it or have one behind you or a block. And you're just going to drop your bottom down to your mat and take your hands into the center of your chest. And just resting here. Finding a nice garland pose, creating that open space for your belly to grow. Holding here. And just remember, if you have any questions about any of the poses that we're doing throughout the practice, just send me a message or just write to me in the chat box and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So hopefully the notifications are working for me to be able to see them, or just send me the message or comment on the post. And slowly releasing from here. Lifting up nice and tall. And then relaxing the legs, crossing them in front. So, staying in Malasana, taking this moment. And then what we're going to do is we're going to slowly take ourselves over onto our mat. So just removing your blocks or bolsters. And then just grabbing your blanket and then folding it and placing it in front of you, and then just resting your knees onto it. Now we're going to come into Ardha Hanumanasana, so our upwards, like half split, but we're doing it up, so we're not going to go. So we're going to come onto our knees and come into a tabletop or a neutral cat. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the right leg and we're going to bring it forward in front of us. So we're kind of in a kneeling position at the moment. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the weight back. Now you can have your foot rest on the floor or up to the ceiling. Now you can have your hands by your side, so having blocks is definitely handy. So we want to have that leg out in front. So taking your time to get into this position. And then what we're going to do is we're going to lift up. So your hands can be pressed down, or you might like to have your hands on your hips. Or if you're near a wall, you could have one hand placed on the wall to help with your balance. And flexing that foot, creating that nice long stretch through the legs. So as we do our prenatal yoga or any kind of yoga for pregnancy, we're creating the strength in the legs, we're strengthening all those muscles that you're going to utilize throughout your pregnancy to support your body in daily tasks. So we want to keep ourselves strong and empowered and feeling nice and strong as our body changes and makes life a little bit harder for us to function, I guess. So whatever we can do to help was great. So holding there. If you want, again, taking that weight forward, and you might feel a deeper stretch through the legs. Holding there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to come forward. So if you want, taking the blocks out in front. Now, I'd like you to heel toe your foot out. So you're creating that space for your baby. And then we're just going to come forward. So we're feeling a nice stretch through the front of the left leg. You might like to rock backwards and forwards. You might like to create some circle movements. Going the other way. And then because we have this open space for the belly, you might like to take your right arm up and open. Or your option is you could leave your block there and then open to the back of the room. So either way, as long as you're creating space for your belly. So the wider your leg is, you might like to take it even further. Holding it there. And gently bringing your hand back down, walking it in. And slowly push off the mat or your blocks, taking your right leg back and taking your left leg forward. So taking that heel toe out just a little bit wider. And then straightening that leg and coming into Ardha Hanumanasana. Lifting up the body and the chest. Feeling that nice stretch of the calf and the back of the leg. Remember, your option is you can use the wall. Doesn't matter which hand or if you use the same hand. As long as you're finding stability. There's not too much pressure on your knee. And remember, you can alternate the heights with your blocks. And then coming forward, place the blocks down. You might like to heel toe the foot out a little bit wider, maybe bringing the hand on the inside of the leg. And maybe some rock backwards and forwards. And you can move your foot, doesn't have to stay where it is. And maybe creating some circles with the hips. And then going in the opposite direction. You might feel uncomfortable, but we're just creating that movement. And you might like to open the left arm up to the ceiling. Opening towards your left leg. Or placing that hand down and opening to the front of the room. And taking the hands down, gently pushing into the legs and to the blocks and placing your knees back. Walking your hands down and laying down onto your bottom or sitting onto your bottom. We're going to come into our wide angle seated forward fold. So moving your blocks out of the way just for now, then taking your legs out to the side as far as you can take them, or your legs can be out in front. Then we're just sitting up nice and tall. And if you like, just start to bend the knees if you want, and just walk your hands out in front. Now, if you have some blocks, you can stack them upon one another. So one flat, one up top, and then just resting your forehead onto the bolster. Or to the block, sorry. If you have some pillows, you might like to have it out in front and then just reaching over, maybe bringing it in closer towards you. Staying here for 5 rounds of breath. And then gently start to roll up. Moving all your props to one side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come into Baddha Konasana. So we're going to take the soles of our feet together. Now again, if you like, you could be sitting on a bolster or a cushion and just placing it under your sit bones or just folding your blankets underneath. And what we're going to do is we're just going to start to lean forward here. Just holding wherever feels comfortable. Hands might be out in front, or you might just like to be sitting upright. And just taking a few moments to come into your body, Just noticing how you're feeling. And then we're going to come into Shavasana. So finding a nice comfortable position, whether that's sitting, you might like to use your bolster. So for the end meditation, if you like, you can come to a child's pose. So taking the toes, big toes together, facing some pillows or bolsters out in front of you. And then just taking your chest down, allowing that space for your belly, and then just relaxing the hands by the bolster or pillow, and just finding somewhere to relax here. You might like to be in elevated Shavasana. So you might like to have your blocks stacked up behind you, making sure that you have a cushion underneath your hips. So you're using as many blocks and pillows as you need. So you want to be able to feel stable. So if this is a bit scary, lots of pillows underneath one another and your main pillow on top, so then you can rest. Then you're just going to move your hips down and then gently start to lay down onto the block. Resting your arms by your sides, or maybe your hands will be on your belly. So choosing what feels comfortable for you. You might like to have a blanket placed over you to keep you warm. And staying here, finding some rest. You might even like to be laying on your left side of your body with pillows underneath your thighs. Finding any position that feels supportive for you and your baby. Into your breath, breathing in through the nose and then out through the nose. Find that deep sense of relaxation throughout your body, allowing the breath to guide you. Remembering that any time throughout rest or through Shavasana, you can change if this no longer feels comfortable for you, moving into something that does feel comfortable. Feeling nice and strong throughout your body. As you carry on with your day-to-day lives, just sending yourself some love, sending your baby some love, for some positive affirmations. They can be anything you like. They could be you're feeling strong, feeling healthy. Remembering that as you are growing this baby, it's a journey on itself. It's an amazing experience that only the women can truly understand and go through. As the body changes, so do we. And it's okay to feel different or confused or scared, but just knowing that we have a whole community of other women who are also going through this. And you have your partner and your family to support you. It's just remembering that you're not alone throughout this journey. Just being calm. Just take everything as it comes, one step at a time. Staying here for a few more moments. Eyes are closed. Muscles are starting to relax through your face, your shoulders, your back, your legs. Feeling the tension leave your face throughout your forehead, your cheeks, your jaw and your lips. And taking this time to maybe wriggle your fingers, wriggle your toes. And gently, slowly blinking your eyes several times. And then taking your time to slowly lift yourselves up. Coming back into your body. And then when you're ready, finding a nice seated position, whether if your legs are out or crossed. And then just taking your hands to the center of your chest. And just thanking yourselves for coming to your practice, for supporting yourself and your baby. And taking your thumbs to your third eye and just gently tilt the head forward and bow. And we say namaste to close off the practice. And taking the hands by your knees. And we're done. So thank you for coming to class. Obviously, if you have any questions or if you felt any discomfort through any of the poses that I went through today, just sending me a message, or in the next session, just remember that there is a chat box there, so you're more than welcome to just hit me up on that as well, and I will take a little moment to go have a look. Otherwise, I hope you have a great week, and I will see you next week. Bye.